Well, you've been hearing these numbers, Senator Ensign. The New York Times poll shows that the Democrats, in the form of the president, are playing bipartisan with your side of the aisle, but your side of the aisle is not doing it reciprocally.
Well, you know, if the president wanted partisanship, which I really do believe
I think we have a mic problem.
Can you hear me okay, Chris?
Yes, I can, Senator.
Okay. You know, we want bipartisanship. I think that's what the American people are asking. You need to start the process from the beginning in a bipartisan fashion. If you're going to craft a bill, you need Democrats and Republicans sitting down together to work things out. What happened with the stimulus bill, for example, is the Democrats in the House of Representatives wrote that. That was a mistake the president made. He knows he made that mistake, and that's why you saw so little Republican support. I think as we're going forward, whether it's health care, whether it's any other issues, we need to start with Republicans and Democrats together at the table to solve some of these major challenges that we have coming forward.
Well, do you believe in the basic idea that when consumption is down, as it is now, and all the numbers show that people aren't buying anything, and that business is not really investing like it should in a normal fashion, that the government has to step in through a combination of spending and tax cuts to compensate? Do you buy that basic Keynesian notion?
No, I really don't, but I do believe that government is what caused the problem in the first place. I think the underlying problem in all of this was the housing problem, and this was government caused. This was the Community Reinvestment Act and Fannie and Freddie. You take away those two factors, and the housing market never has the bubble and never has the burst. And anytime you have that kind of a major sector of the economy dragging the rest of the economy down, you need to fix that sector of the economy, and that's housing. And this stimulus bill didn't do that. I had a proposal in the stimulus bill that would have done that, and that's what I believe we should have done. The president has now come out with a housing fix, but the markets obviously have reacted very, very poorly because I don't think it's really well thought out.
So Governor Jindal will be speaking for you tonight because he is really delivering a roundhouse punch at the very notion that the president believes in profoundly, which is the role of government at a time of recession or perhaps depression is to offset the losses in consumer spending and business investment by big government spending and tax cuts. You basically join Governor Jindal in not believing in that approach, right? Well, that's profound.
Well, no, look back at history. First of all, Chris, I've talked a lot about this on the Senate floor. The Great Depression had huge amounts of spending, and we were in a Great Depression for 10 years. The stock market took 25 years to recover. During Japan, during the 1990s, they had 6 different stimulus packages. They spent over $6 trillion. It did not recover their economy. As a matter of fact, it's called the lost decade. They still haven't recovered today. So I don't think you can make a good argument that a stimulus package and spending is going to take you out of a recession. The right kind of tax cuts targeted especially towards small business to incentivize them to invest and create jobs is the way you pull yourself out of a recession. That's what's done it in the past, and I believe that's what would help do it today.
But doesn't everybody know that the reason we got out of the Great Depression was the huge spending that went on when we began to support Britain in the war against the Nazis? That huge amount of government spending that went on in the late 30s and early 40s, that's what got us out of the Depression, right?
Yeah, but think about this, Chris. The spending during the 1930s, even in the, with Hoover as well as with FDR, they had all of this spending. Shouldn't we have come out of the Depression before World War II if government spending was actually what was going to bring out of it? I mean, you had the New Deal, which was huge increases in government spending, and that didn't take us out of the Depression. As a matter of fact, in 1937, we had a depression within a depression. The bottom line is we should have crafted a stimulus bill in a bipartisan fashion. You could have had some spending on things like infrastructure. I'm a big believer in infrastructure, but it should be in things of infrastructure that is actually going to improve the efficiency of the economy, not just on paving roads, but actually on building new roads, on building bridges that are going to make our economy move more efficiently, and even on building some of our infrastructure on information technology. The problem with the bill that we have before us, for instance, on health IT, is that money is going to be spent 4 or 5 years from now, not in the next 2 years.
Will you be helped by the economy, and will the economy of Nevada be helped by that new rail line from L.A., north of L.A., to Las Vegas?
It certainly won't in the next couple of years because.
But will it help you ultimately?
Ultimately, if it was built, I'd rather see it built with private money. And there's private investors out there that have been talking to me for the last couple of years. They're actually want to get their own high-speed rail going without government assistance. And so I don't know that the money was needed, for that. I believe in infrastructure, but this was not necessarily infrastructure that we needed.
Well, I believe in high-speed rail. I'm completely with you on that, Senator. I just wish these guys would start building those railroads. Thank you very much, Senator John Ensign of Nevada. President Obama's address.